1Y, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelful.audio. Deep in a monster-infested forest, a couple of miles outside Yi City in Donghua Nation, Qingxian Continent. This is just cruel. Straight up, this is messed up. What a load of crap. Seriously? Is this some kind of cosmic joke? A charcoal briquette shook its fist at the sky, ranting and stomping, hand planted firmly on its hip. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning shot down. The charcoal briquette scrambled up a nearby tree, but the lightning seemed to have eyes. It veered off course and zapped the charcoal briquette anyway. The briquette plummeted to the ground with a thump and lay there, knocked out cold. Just after the charcoal briquette passed out, someone else fell out of the sky, landing with a crash a few dozen feet away. The charcoal briquette soon regained consciousness. It was about to unleash another tirade when it remembered the lightning strike. Annoyed, it muttered, "Come on. I didn't mean to offend you. After all I've been through, going from a street beggar to a top-notch secret agent, I finally escaped the organization, ready to kick back and enjoy life. Now I get zapped and end up here. Reincarnation is one thing, but why am I stuck in the body of this dark-skinned girl? Okay, dark skin is whatever, but why does she have to be a total loser who can't even cultivate?" Yun Chujiu sighed, muttering to herself. Thinking about the previous owner of this body brought tears to her eyes. Why was she so ridiculously eager to die? Her name was Yun Chujiu, 14 years old. Besides being dark-skinned, she was a good-for-nothing who couldn't cultivate. Oh, and she'd been abandoned at birth, left in this very forest. Luckily, Yun Zhongqing and his wife found her. The couple had been childless for years, so they adopted Yun Chujiu and raised her as their own. She got her name because she was found on the 9th day of the month and was the 9th child adopted by the Yun family. The Yun family was a renowned cultivation clan in Yi City, and Yun Zhongqing was the youngest son of the head, Yun Chujiu.And. Yun Zhongqing was incredibly talented, so Yun Chujiu.And favored him. Yun Chujiu had really lucked out when Yun Zhongqing took her in, but when Yun Chujiu turned 5, they discovered she was a complete waste of space, unable to cultivate at all, and her bad luck didn't stop there. When she was 8, Yun Zhongqing and his wife vanished during a family mission. They just disappeared, and no one ever heard from them again. Eventually, everyone had to face the truth: the couple was gone for good. They built tombs for them, using their personal belongings, so, poor Yun Chujiu was left in a tight spot with the Yun family. She was just an adopted kid, and a useless one at that. Without her adoptive parents to protect her, Yun Chujiu got paranoid. She felt like everyone looked down on her and wanted her gone. Then, some jerk named But showed up. He just spouted some cheesy lines and gave her dry, stale pastries. But the original Yun Chujiu was so clueless, she fell for it hook, line, and sinker. She never realized that But was the second young master of the But family, the Yun family's biggest rivals. How would the Yun family react to her hanging around with him, even flirting with him? Yun Chujiu.And was furious when he found out, but he only gave her a warning, offering some advice. He figured she was young and had a rough life. He didn't even punish her, but the original Yun Chujiu was a total idiot. She thought Yun Chujiu.And was just trying to make her miserable. Manipulated by But, she did a bunch of stuff that screwed over the Yun family. Today, the airhead pulled a stunt so dumb, the Yun family would have every reason to kick her to the curb. Too Big Catch, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelful.audio. Tricked by But, that idiot Yun Chujiu actually swiped the soul-gathering pill, a top-shelf medicine. The Yun family practically bankrupted themselves to get. Yun Chujiu.And planned to use that pill to hit level 7 in spirit refinement, but no dice. The original Yun Chujiu handed it to her worst enemy. You can imagine how furious the Yun family was. Talk about biting the hand that feeds you. And to make things worse, it was the anniversary of Yun Zhongqing and his wife's death. Could the original Yun Chujiu, bless her heart, have picked a worse day to sneak into Yun Chujiu.'And's study and steal that pill? After snagging it, the airhead headed straight for the monster-infested outskirts of the forest, where But told her to meet him. She was like a puppy, tail wagging, just hoping for a pat on the head. All she could think about was how But would sweep her off her feet. But the second he had the pill, he was a completely different guy. He mocked her, told her she was worthless, and then kicked her to the ground. Naturally, she smacked her head on a rock and bought the farm. By Moyu didn't even blink. He just turned around and headed back to Yi City. Who cares about Yun Chujiu? The monsters in the forest would have a field day with her, Yun Chujiu, and she figured she might as well go by that name since she was stuck with the body. Couldn't believe what a moron the original her was. Seriously, she was beyond dumb. Doing all that crap for a loser. What a classic case of biting the hand that feeds you. You're only 14. You could have met a million cute guys later. What was the rush? You basically got yourself killed over a jerk. I feel sorry for you, but man, do I also hate you. Just thinking about all the drama she'd be walking into back at the Yun family home made Yun Chujiu want to curl up and die. Whatever, what's done is done. Let's just see what happens. She told herself, wiping her eyes on her sleeve. Then, she turned her little legs back towards Yi City. But she hadn't gone far when her eyes popped. Huh? What's that lying face down on the ground? Probably dead, since she couldn't hear any breathing. And she had good ears. Even though Yun Chujiu used to be a secret agent, she was still a bit of a chicken. So, she grabbed a pebble and tossed it at the guy. Just to be safe, it bounced off his back, and nothing. Yun Chujiu grinned. Jackpot. She could tell he was rich just by looking at him. He had to be loaded. She practically skipped over to the guy, picturing piles of cash. Hey, you alive? She poked him with a branch. Still nothing. Eyes narrowed, Yun Chujiu smiled like a Cheshire cat as she examined his clothes. Well, look at this. Guess I'm in luck. Those were definitely expensive clothes, which meant he had to be carrying a ton of loot. Yun Chujiu rolled him over, and her jaw dropped. What the heck? He's gorgeous. Like, movie star gorgeous. This is a 10 out of 10. Wow, that jawline. Wow, that nose. She just stood there, stunned by his good looks, for a minute. Then she sighed. What a waste. Doesn't change the fact he's dead. Guess it's true what they say, the good die young. It wasn't like she'd never seen a handsome guy before. After the initial shock wore off, she remembered she was here to rob the dead, and got back to business. Hey, cutie, sorry, but you can't take it with you, right? I'll do you a solid and keep your stuff safe for you. And with that, she started rifling through his pockets. She searched and searched, but not a single coin. Not even a measly dime. Yun Chujiu lost it. Are you kidding me? Why even bother looking so rich? What's the point of being this good-looking if you're broke? What a waste of a face. Furious, Yun Chujiu actually stripped the guy naked. Ahem. 3. I Can't Control My Hand, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Your outfit's pretty sweet. Mine's trashed, so I guess I'll bite the bullet and borrow yours. Being the nice person I am, all I need is your robe. Quick as a flash, Yun Chujiu stripped him of his clothes. Weirdly enough, the gash on the back of her head had miraculously healed. Her clothes were still covered in blood and dirt, though. So, off they came, and she slipped into his attire. A little big, but whatever. Beats wearing this filth. Then, get this, the clothes actually shrunk to fit her perfectly. Yun Chujiu was thrilled. Wow! Who knew pretty boys' clothes were such a treasure? Yun Chujiu thought for a sec and decided to throw her dirty robe back on over the new clothes. Gotta keep it low-key, she didn't want to attract unwanted attention to her newfound swag. Huh? What's pretty boy clutching? Yun Chujiu noticed he was holding something tight in his right hand. No way she was passing up a potential payday. With a grunt and a heave, she finally pried his fingers loose. She cursed him under her breath. You're a goner, dude. Why so strong? Then, she saw it, and she couldn't help being a little disappointed. Just a plain, ugly fruit. She held it to her nose. It smelled vaguely fragrant, but she pursed her lips. Definitely not a top-shelf spirit fruit. Those are supposed to have a crazy strong scent. Still, Yun Chujiu was a bit parched, so she started munching on it. A few seconds later, it was gone. She tossed the core on the ground and was about to bail when her eyes landed on the guy's ridiculously handsome face. She didn't know what came over her, but she reached out and stroked his cheek. Felt pretty good. Holy crap, what was she doing? Even Yun Chujiu, queen of shamelessness, suddenly blushed. I'm not trying anything. My hand, it has a mind of its own. Yeah, that's it. I can't control my hand. Hey, pretty boy, thanks a bunch for the clothes. I'm just a little girl, not strong enough to dig a grave, so I'm gonna leave you here. I'm sure some monsters will come and take care of you. Later, Yun Chujiu finished in a rush and practically ran for her life. Half an hour later, several black dots appeared in the sky, resolving into men in black who landed nearby. They stared at the man on the ground, dumbfounded. Just as they were about to lose their minds, the man on the ground snapped his eyes open. If Yun Chujiu had seen him then, pretty boy would have been the last thing on her mind. The moment he opened his eyes, a wave of pure, murderous menace rolled off him. He looked like the Grim Reaper himself, radiating enough power to make a person soil themselves. His gaze landed on the men in black, and their leader reacted instantly. He dropped to his knees with a loud whoosh. The rest of the men in black snapped out of their shock and did the same. A close look would have revealed they were trembling. Oh my God, who in their right mind would defile the Supreme Lord? The Supreme Lord had turned away countless women from powerful families and elite sections. And now he'd been deflowered in the Qingxian continent, of all backwater places. The Supreme Lord was a major germaphobe. He didn't let anyone within 3 feet of him. And now he'd been violated on some random mountain in the Qingxian continent. What kind of woman was she? How could she be so suicidal? Their Supreme Lord gritted his teeth, speechless for a moment. Then, he vanished in a blur. For slap that thing to death and refine it into a medicinal pill. Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dharma Protector Phone, where'd the Supreme Lord go? One of the guys in black asked, a little hesitant. Their leader scowled. There's a waterfall close by. He's definitely taking a bath. The guys in black all winced. One of them, looking confused, asked, I mean, theoretically, nobody on Qingxian continent should be able to touch the Supreme Lord, so how did this? Humph. That twisted chick probably took advantage of him when he was down and, another guy in black said, practically spitting with rage. How do you know it was a woman? Could have been a dude. The rest of the men in black were stunned by that. Oh, God, our pure, untainted Supreme Lord might have been messed with by a guy. That they all instantly felt like they'd screwed up big time. How could they let something like that happen to their Supreme Lord? They deserved to be punished. A little later, Supreme Lord Biming showed up, radiating a dark mood, and Feng, the leader, swallowed hard. He sucked it up and asked, Supreme Lord, weren't you going for the exquisite sunset fruit? Why? While I was doing sword control, a bolt of lightning came out of nowhere. Because my cultivation suppressed, I wasn't ready for it, and it hit me. Biming looked ticked. Why did lightning just appear? And purple lightning, no less. That stuff was strong. It was just too weird. And Feng kept his head down, fishing for info. Did you get the exquisite sunset fruit, then? Yes, Biming replied, short and sweet, and Feng perked up. Awesome, Supreme Lord. If we turn that into a scorching young pill, we can hold back the cold poison in your body for a while. Biming just grunted, and the men felt like they were about to freeze solid. Someone else ate it. Following Biming's glare, the men saw the core of a fruit lying on the ground nearby. Clean to the bone, everyone immediately put 2 and 2 together. Oh, man. Not only did some crazy weirdo mess with the Supreme Lord, but they also ate the exquisite sunset fruit. Star. Investigate this. Find that thing, kill it, and grind it into a pill. Beiming hissed through his teeth, and Feng braced himself and asked, Supreme Lord, is that thing a guy or a girl? Any, distinguishing features we should look for? It's probably a woman, a low-down, shameless, nasty, greedy, messed up one. She even stole my snow silk brocade shirt. That's all I know. Figure out the rest yourselves. Don't come back until you found her. Remembering what Yun Chujiu had done, Beiming's face darkened. Even though he was practically blind and deaf at the time, he had not lost his sense of touch. That thing even dared to strip me naked. On top of that, That's the one thing I cannot forgive her for the most. She deserves to die. Even after washing a bunch of times under the waterfall, Beiming still felt violated, and Feng and the rest of the guys in black were speechless. It should be a woman. Are you saying there's a chance the Supreme Lord actually got messed with by a dude? Forget it. I'll personally crush that thing and turn it into a pill. Despite his anger, Beiming was a little curious. Who on earth would dare do something like that to me? The nerve. Yun Chujiu had no clue she'd just become public enemy number one. Right now, she was cursing out her old self. She wanted to cry, but nothing came out. Her old reputation was just plain awful. After getting out of the monster-filled forest, she ran into a few groups of people. No matter how much she begged, in her own shameless way, no one would give her a ride. Everyone looked at Yun Chujiu like she was a pile of dog poop. Pure disgust. Get lost, trash. Yeah. It's bad enough you're an ugly waste of space, but you had to go chasing after young Master Moyu. Shameless. The Yun family really drew the short straw. Raising such a traitorous jerk. I heard today's the anniversary of Yun Zhongqing and his wife's death. Shouldn't Yun Chujiu be at home, honoring her dead parents? What's she even doing here? She's obviously here to bother young Master Moyu again. How low can you go? The pitiful Yun Chujiu had no choice but to walk all the way back to Yi City. 5. The Pretty Boy's Arrival, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 9th Young Mistress, welcome back, one of the guards said, bowing slightly despite the disdain in his eyes. Good to be back. Appreciate you holding down the fort. Yun Chujiu winced inwardly but dug out a bit of silver. Here, grab some tea on me. She tossed it to the two guards. They stared, mouths agape. It was a while before they snapped out of it after she had walked away. What in the world? Has she lost her mind? She always acts like she's better than everyone. Why is she suddenly being so nice, giving us silver? As Yun Chujiu tried to sneak back to her room, a girl grabbed her arm and dragged her into a corner. Yun Chujiu. How can you even show your face around here? You're such a lying, two-faced snake. After everything Grandpa's done for you, you pay him back by stealing the soul-gathering pill. Today's your father's memorial. And you pull a stunt like this? Are you a complete idiot? You better hand over that pill right now, or even Grandpa won't be able to save you. Yun Chujiu shrank back. The girl, radiating fury, was dressed in pearl white, a gorgeous but thorny rose. This was Yun Chujiu's cousin, the daughter of her eldest uncle. 5th sister, I'll just go change first. Then I'll return the pill to Grandpa right away. Of course, Yun Chujiu wouldn't dare tell Yun Chu that she'd already given the soul-gathering pill to Bai Moyu. That girl would probably tear her apart. She hurried toward her room, ignoring Yun Chu's hissed rebukes. Oh, man. This is going to be a disaster. If she's this mad before I tell her I gave the pill away, she'll kill me. What am I going to do? Yun Chujiu threw herself into a chair. Yun Chujiu, are you stupid? Are you just plain dumb? Look at this place. Look at the furniture. It's all so fancy. The Yun family treats you like gold. and you repay them by pulling a heartless stunt like this. Now I have to clean up your mess. As she muttered, a chill went down her spine, raising the hairs on her neck. Danger. She sensed a murderous presence, a deafening crash exploded nearby, and Yun Chujiu watched in disbelief as her room splintered into rubble. The whole place was shaking like it was about to fall apart. What's going on? An earthquake? Or did the whole Yun clan come to beat me up? Suddenly, she was frozen, unable to move a muscle. Then, whoosh! An unseen force yanked her out into the courtyard. She landed hard on her face, sprawling on the ground. She was totally stunned. She knew people in this world cultivated some kind of spiritual energy, but this was something out of a fantasy novel. Someone scoffed, and she regained her movement. Staggering to her feet, she looked up and saw him. Her legs turned to jelly, and she collapsed back onto the ground. Yun Chujiu clasped her hands together in a prayer. Spirits of the air, spirits of the earth, please protect me, pretty boy. I mean, handsome, I know I stole your clothes, but I didn't kill you. You should take it out on the person who murdered you, you know. Get revenge on them. Look, I promise to burn some offerings for you on the 1st and 15th of every month. Handsome, I can tell you were rich, generous, forgiving, and kind when you were alive. You wouldn't lower yourself to hurt someone as pathetic as me, right? My life is a real tearjerker. You'd cry if you heard it. Just look at me. I was abandoned at birth, and I'm ugly. And I'm a good-for-nothing who can't even become a cultivator. On top of that, I'm stupid, and I got played by a jerk. I only borrowed your clothes because I was desperate. If you want them back, I'll take them off right now. 6 Prince Charming, I Love You, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As Yun Chujiu spoke, she started taking off her clothes, head down, but a cunning glint flashed in her eyes. She didn't buy into the ghost and zombie stuff for a second. She was now sure this guy hadn't been dead when she robbed him. Ugh, why hadn't she been more careful and checked him out better? Now what? This pretty boy was crazy strong, way out of her league. Guess she'd have to use every trick in the book to get out of this. Biming frowned. His first thought had been to just smack her into next week. He hadn't expected Yun Chujiu to be such a blabbermouth. With his reputation and power, nobody had ever dared say so much to his face. Plus, the way her face lit up was kind of mesmerizing. He hadn't killed her yet because he was stunned. By now, Yun Chujiu had shed the dirty robe and was reluctantly peeling off Biming's clothes. She had an undershirt on anyway, so no need to worry about showing anything off. When Biming realized Yun Chujiu had stopped talking, he raised his hand, ready to end this. But Yun Chujiu saw it out of the corner of her eye and shuddered. He's really gonna do it. What do I do? Desperate, Yun Chujiu lunged forward and grabbed his leg. Oh, Prince Charming, now I get it. You weren't dead. You're here to rescue me from my miserable life, right? Okay, I lied earlier. I totally fell for you the second I saw you back there. I stole your clothes because I'm obsessed with you. I'm just so in love. I thought you were a goner, and I was so bummed out that stealing your clothes was the only thing that made me feel better. I was gonna look at them whenever I missed you. Wearing your clothes makes me feel like you're right here. Wah, I know it was wrong. But can't you find it in your heart to forgive me, for the love I have for you, pretty please? My heart only beats for you. And Fong and the other guys in black, hiding nearby, were practically choking trying not to laugh. This dark-skinned chick was unbelievable. A pink, fluffy, young heart. More like the heart of a total perv. Biming was speechless. All his admirers were shy, bashful, and scared out of their minds. Nobody had ever thrown their love at him like this, so, between Yun Chujiu's over-the-top confession, Biming didn't even notice she'd been clinging to his leg for a while. And, for some crazy reason, he felt a little pleased. Then he remembered Yun Chujiu molesting him before she took off, and his expression darkened. He raised his hand again. Yun Chujiu knew she had to pull out all the stops to save her own skin. In her book, shame was a foreign concept when it came to staying alive. Prince Charming. I did it all out of love, pure love. I just couldn't resist your hotness. That's why. I couldn't help myself. I was just overcome. Prince Charming, loving you isn't a crime. But if you gotta kill me, go ahead. I don't mind being a ghost, as long as I was killed by you. I'll die happy. Come on, Prince Charming, hit me hard. I'll have no regrets. Yun Chujiu lifted her dark, plain face. Even though she wasn't much to look at, her expression was practically beatific. A single tear trickled down her cheek. Maybe it was her words, maybe it was the tear, but Biming slowly lowered his hand. Biming frowned. It seemed like a waste to kill this little thing. What she'd said, it sort of made sense. Ahem. After all, he was pretty darn amazing, wasn't he? So loving him couldn't be a crime. But if he didn't turn her into a medicinal pill, how was he going to get rid of the cold poison inside him? The exquisite sunset fruit was supposed to suppress the cold poison in my body. Hearing Biming's voice, Yun Chujiu cursed under her breath. Damn, talk about unfair. This guy's not just a looker, he's got the voice of an angel too, But I already ate it. I can't exactly throw it back up, Yun Chujiu said, looking pathetic. That's not a problem. I'll just turn you into a medicinal pill, Biming said calmly, like it was the most normal thing in the world. 7 Pretty Boy, We Are Eternal Enemies, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It took every ounce of Yun Chujiu's willpower to keep her cool. Son of TCH. I'm a person. A freaking human being. Not some weed. You wanna turn me into a pill? Kiss my Screw you. If I wasn't too weak to take you, I'd beat you so bad your face would look like your butt. After a quick, silent rage fest, Yun Chujiu put on her best pathetic face. Oh, Prince Charming, I'm just a scrawny, dark-skinned girl with organs and stuff. If you turn me into a pill, it'll be all gnarly and gross. You'll have a hard time even swallowing it, you know. Biming frowned, giving Yun Chujiu a once-over of pure disgust. I don't have much choice. Exquisite sunset fruit is rarer than hen's teeth. I guess I can rinse my mouth with water. It's not the end of the world. Yun Chujiu mentally murdered Biming 1,000 times over. King jerk. I have to die to be a freaking pill, and you're complaining about it. If I could take you, I'd strangle you right here and now. She frantically tried to think her way out of this. Okay, what do I do? Seems like this stupid fruit is a huge deal to Mr. Good-Looking. If I'd known, I wouldn't have eaten it. It didn't even taste good. Carrots are better. Biming raised his hand again. Sure, this dark-skinned little thing was amusing, but suppressing his cold poison was way more important. Yun Chujiu felt the grim reaper breathing down her neck. She hated feeling like a lamb being led to slaughter. She needed to get stronger. She had to. The more dire the situation, the calmer Yun Chujiu became. Her brain went into overdrive. Suddenly, she bit her finger hard enough to draw blood. Prince Charming. Drink my blood. My blood will definitely suppress the poison in you, and it'll work better than any pill. Desperate times called for desperate measures. Yun Chujiu practically shoved her bleeding finger into Biming's mouth. Yun Chujiu's blood was surprisingly addictive, and Biming instinctively started sucking on her finger. The men in black lurking in the shadows were speechless. Supreme Lord, what happened to your germophobia? Supreme Lord, where's your sense of decorum? Weren't you just going to squash this dark-skinned girl and turn her into a pill? Okay, fine, you let her hug your leg and cry for a while, but now you're sucking her finger. Yun Chujiu's face went white. What the hell? Is this pretty boy a vampire? He won't stop, even after drinking so much. Am I gonna die from blood loss? Finally, after what felt like forever, Biming released Yun Chujiu's hand, looking satisfied. He hadn't realized her blood would work even better than a pill made from exquisite sunset fruit. If he drank her blood every so often, the cold poison inside him might actually be cured. Biming was suddenly very fond of Yun Chujiu. He tried everything to get rid of the cold poison, but nothing had worked. Who knew he'd find the answer on this trip to Qingxian continent? Dark-skinned thing, that was a good idea. What do you want as a reward? Yun Chujiu noticed the hint of a smile on Biming's face and immediately became suspicious. When someone suddenly started being nice, it usually meant they were up to no good. Why was Mr. Good-looking being so friendly? Prince Charming, it's nothing. I don't need any reward. Yun Chujiu held her breath, trying to make her dark face flush a little. Seeing the lovesick look on Yun Chujiu's face, Biming felt a surge of satisfaction. It seemed the dark-skinned thing wasn't lying. She really was head over heels for him. He could never love someone so dark, but because she had such good taste in men, he'd give her a little help. Come here, Biming ordered, gesturing to Yun Chujiu. Suspicious as hell, Yun Chujiu forced a lovesick smile and shuffled over to Biming like a loyal puppy, tail wagging, ready to do his bidding. Prince Charming, what can I do for you? Biming chopped Yun Chujiu on the chest, and she instantly blacked out. As she faded, one thought screamed through her mind, you son of a bitch. Pretty boy, we're enemies for life. I'll never forgive you, even from beyond the grave, *. 8 Young Maid, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After slapping Yun Chujiu's chest, Biming conjured a spotless white handkerchief out of nowhere. He scrubbed her dirty, skinny wrist with it like he was wiping off a pile of crap before even touching her hand, and Fong and the other guys in black stared, dumbfounded. They were starting to wonder if their supreme lord had lost his marbles. 1 minute he was sucking on this girl's finger, the next he was acting like she was contaminated. After a moment, Biming frowned, clearly puzzled. And Fong, hang back and keep an eye on this urchin. As long as she's not in mortal danger, stay out of it. Biming tossed the handkerchief on the ground and vanished with the rest of the men in black, leaving Fong standing there alone, completely bewildered. Supreme Lord, what the heck does that mean? You want me to babysit this nobody in the middle of nowhere? Isn't that a waste of my skills? And what's so special about this kid anyway? Why protect her? If you're going to protect her, why did you knock her out cold? And stay out of it unless she's dying. What's that supposed to mean? Just then, a girl hurried into the courtyard, and Fong ducked out of sight. Young mistress. Young mistress. Are you alright? The maid called out anxiously when she saw Yun Chujiu sprawled on the ground. Yun Chujiu blinked awake, groggy. I'm not dead. That pretty boy didn't finish me off, she sized up the maid. Her predecessor had run off all the other servants so she could sneak around with Bimoyu, leaving only Chunyu, a timid and obedient girl. Also, the original owner kept her around because you sounded the same as the U in Bimoyu's name. Talk about obsessed. Chunyu had been getting hot water. When she came back and saw Yun Chujiu lying there like a dead fish, she'd freaked out. I'm fine. Did you hear anything just now? Yun Chujiu glanced around. The door was splintered. They must have made a ton of noise, so why hadn't anyone come to investigate? No. Oh, young mistress. What happened to the door? Chunyu finally noticed the wreckage. Yun Chujiu figured the pretty boy must have used some kind of magic to block the sound. Man, this guy is powerful beyond belief. Who is he? It was an old door. Probably just fell apart from age and neglect. Just get someone to put up a new one, Yun Chujiu said casually. Chunyu stared, speechless. Doors didn't just shatter from old age, did they? But she'd always been scared to death of the old Yun Chujiu, so she didn't dare question her. After all, the original owner would often take out her bad moods on Chunyu. Young mistress, what's with those clothes? Chunyu eyed the dirty rags on the ground, then the snow silk brocade shirt that Yun Chujiu was now wearing. Suspiciously, Yun Chujiu was about to answer when she heard footsteps. Oh, company. Quickly, Yun Chujiu snatched up the dirty clothes and put them on. Where did this handkerchief come from? She picked it up and remembered the burning sensation when Beiming had rubbed her wrist. Her eyes narrowed, and she mentally cursed him out 1,000 times. That pretty boy is such a freak. He was happy to suck on my finger and drink my blood, then he acts like he's a germaphobe. But why had he grabbed her wrist? Was he checking for a pulse? Yun Chujiu noticed a strange-looking fish embroidered in the corner. Her eyes darkened, and she tucked the handkerchief away. It was evidence of the pretty boy's crime. Someday, when she was strong enough, she'd make him pay. She'd make him beg for mercy. Humph. Lost in her revenge fantasies, Yun Chujiu heard a respectful voice from outside. Ninth young mistress, the master of the house requests your presence in his study. 9. Find me a rope, chapter preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yun Chujiu turned to see an old man standing outside the courtyard. Rummaging through her memories, she identified him as Butler Ji, someone Yun Xiaotian trusted implicitly. Despite the respectful expression on Butler Ji's face, Yun Chujiu detected the anger and disdain simmering beneath the surface. She couldn't help but feel a little bummed. Clearing her name was going to be an uphill battle. Butler Ji, please tell my grandfather I'll be over as soon as I change, Yun Chujiu said, bowing slightly and trying to be polite. Butler Ji was so shocked he almost tripped. Is the 9th young mistress possessed? Why is she suddenly so polite? His heart sank. Oh, no. She's acting this way because she feels guilty. Is the soul-gathering pill already gone because of her? Just as Butler Ji was reeling, Yun Chujiu cleared her throat a few times and said a little awkwardly, Butler Ji, the door to my room basically fell apart. Could you do me a solid and get a new one installed? Of course, 9th young mistress. It's been raining a lot lately, probably the humidity. I'll have someone fix it right away. I don't think it can be fixed. Why don't you take a look? Yun Chujiu gestured for Butler Ji to come inside. Butler Ji entered the courtyard, his heart filled with suspicion, and nearly had a heart attack at what he saw. Holy moly. The door was perfectly fine before. How did it get demolished in the blink of an eye? Someone, please explain. That door was made of hemlock, for crying out loud. Hemlock is practically as strong as iron. Who could possibly have the power to reduce it to splinters? 9th young mistress, what in the world happened here? It was like this when I got back. I have no idea. Must be from years of neglect, right, Chunyu? Yun Chujiu lied without batting an eye. Chunyu nodded, clueless about who actually destroyed the door. Butler Ji grabbed a handful of the shattered wood and bolted as if a pack of wolves were on his tail. Yun Chujiu pursed her lips and muttered, why does he get so worked up at his age? Even Chunyu is more chill than him. Chunyu blushed. Her young mistress seemed different, and she kind of liked it. Inside the bedroom, Yun Chujiu went to change, but when she opened her closet, she couldn't believe her eyes. Seriously? Everything in here is black. No wonder Chunyu looked at her like she was crazy when she wore the silver and white robe. Yun Chujiu dug around in her memories and found the reason. It was all because Bai Moyu told her she looked best in black. Seriously? You're already dark-skinned, and you wear black. You'll just look like a lump of charcoal. That jerk was totally messing with you, and you actually bought it? What a dummy. After a long search, Yun Chujiu found a pearl-white robe, the Yun family disciple uniform. Her old self hated it, so she'd shoved it in the back of the closet. Idiot. Freaking moron who doesn't know what's good for her. Yun Chujiu muttered as she put on the robe. Looking in the bronze mirror, Yun Chujiu inspected her dark complexion and her face. Her features were pretty decent, actually. Not too ugly, all things considered. Xuanhu stood beside her, thinking it was strange that her mistress was talking to herself, but she didn't say a word, just standing obediently by. Xuanhu, go find me some rope. A mischievous glint appeared in Yun Chujiu's eyes. Young mistress, please don't kill yourself. If you die, I'll join you in the afterlife. Xuanhu forgot her fear and cried out in alarm. What do you mean, kill myself? I'm not trying to hang myself. Just go get me the rope. Yun Chujiu glared at Xuanhu, who shrank back in fear and scurried off to find it. Yun Chujiu rubbed her chin. Guess her old self wasn't totally useless. She'd trained this maid to be pretty obedient. 10 Flying into a Rage, Chapter Preview. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xuanhu quickly grabbed a rope, trembling as she handed it to Yun Chujiu, resolving to stop her if she tried anything. Yun Chujiu took the rope, went to a tree, snapped off a thin branch, and tied it to her back with the rope. Young mistress, what are you doing? Xuanhu asked, worried she'd completely lost it. Watch my room. I'm going to see Grandpa, Yun Chujiu replied, heading towards Yun Xiaotian's study with a bounce in her step. The Yun family servants exchanged bewildered glances at Yun Chujiu's strange appearance. Doesn't the 9th mistress only wear black? Why is she in white today? Has she lost her mind? Why the tree branch? It's Changqing's death anniversary. Maybe it's hit her hard. Come on. Let's be real, the 9th mistress spends all her time chasing Bai Moyu. She probably doesn't even remember what day it is. I remember last year, she barely prayed or cried. Then she went on a date with Bai Moyu. What a brat. Shoo. Keep it down. She'll complain to the head of the household, and will get punished. Honestly, she's why the branch families hate the head of the household. He's too kind. He should just kick her out. Yun Chujiu, with her sharp hearing, picked up their whispers and stumbled slightly. What in the world did I get myself into? Piecing together their comments and her predecessor's actions, Yun Chujiu realized Yun Xiaotian had covered up the stolen soul-gathering pill. She immediately liked her grandfather. If he could be so good to such a jerk, he had to be kind and value family, or maybe he just loved his youngest son and felt guilty about Yun Changqing's death. Maybe he was giving all that love to Yun Chujiu now. Too bad the idiot she replaced didn't appreciate it. Lost in thought, someone blocked her path. Well, look who it is. Yun Chujiu, you're not glued to Bai Moyu for once. And what's with the white? And the tree branch? Is that some kind of thing he's into? Ha! It was Yun Chuer, the second oldest grandchild at 19, and Yun Chujiu's regular tormentor. Yun Chujiu rolled her eyes. There's all kinds, she thought. Yun Chuer had bullied her predecessor, and that was a big reason why she hated the Yun family and stubbornly refused to change her mind. Second brother, I need to see Grandpa. Could you move? Yun Chujiu asked evenly. Yun Chuer stared, surprised. Yun Chujiu usually wore a permanent frown. Why was she so calm today? Sure, I'll move. But I'm a little short on cash. Give me 100 taels of silver. Yun Chuer grinned. Even though she was an orphan, Yun Xiaotian always made sure she had money. 100 taels. Go rob a bank. Get out of my face. Yun Chujiu loved food and money. The moment she heard Yun Chuer's demand, she exploded like a firecracker. Yun Chuer recoiled at her fierce expression. He'd been shaking her down for money since day one. Why was she so upset today? He felt embarrassed and angry. Yun Chujiu, I'm being nice here. You're just a freeloader helping our enemies. Hand over the silver, or I'll rearrange your face.